Let's go over here to Rusty in the blue, then we'll go to Claire, and then we'll go to my man right here in the black shirt.
Rusty Ball, NASCAR Media Group. I'll ask you actually if you could switch gears for me. Let's go from the slowest track to the fastest. Just your thoughts. Talladega's coming up. Just wanted to, I know Daytona had changed with repave, and there were some comparisons back and forth. But is it reasonable to think that the same guys that were fast in Daytona should be at the head of the field at Talladega as well?
It's a crapshoot. It really is. I mean, you look at the way that the Daytona 500 finished. I mean, anybody can win. You just gotta be around at the end to do that, though. So you gotta take care of your car all day. I mean, obviously Talladega's there's a lot more room to move around and do the things that you need to do with the bump drafting and the things that go with that. So obviously, I mean, anybody can win the race, and it's just one of those things where you have to go out and take care of your stuff.
We can get the mic over here to Claire, and then we'll go to, was it what's your name? Chad, and then we'll go to Jim.
Claire B. Lang, Sirius NASCAR Radio. There was a time when Kevin Harvick could be associated with lack of patience at a track like this. You might lose your temper. Do you think you've changed a lot since we remember those early days with you, and how so? And then as a follow-up to the making the woman cry, you are a softie, aren't you, when it comes to making somebody cry? Fall all apart?
Yeah, well, if you'd have seen me drive last night, you'd have seen that lack of patience. I looked like a bull in a china closet. I think as you go through time, you learn how things work, and you learn how to do things right. And I still lose my mind every once in a while. So I lost my mind in the fall race here in the truck race, and started running over everybody in sight. So it's just when you get in a situation like you are on Sunday, and you know that it's a week after week thing, and it's the big prize that you're after, you have a tendency to be able to keep your head on your shoulders a little bit longer. So when there's nothing at stake, you see me lose my mind a little bit easier.
And are you a softie when you make someone cry?
All depends on who it is.
Let's go Chad, Jim Utter, and then Steve Richards.
Chad Hall, BTW 21 and ESPN 1160. Kevin, last week was just awesome, dude. That was awesome racing. How does that make you feel getting into those guys' heads a little bit, saying, hey, I'm here to win, and I'm going to do what I got to do?
Well, I don't know if we got in anybody's heads, but we did what we needed to do as a race team. I felt like we did a good job all day on the racetrack and off the racetrack. So that's really what it's all about. It's all about winning races, and it's all about being around at the end of the year to have a chance to win a championship. And for us, last year was a good year for us to understand that we can race for the championship. Our team is championship material, and we proved that week in and week out last year, and this year we know it, and we can overcome a lot of things, and hopefully keep putting the race cars on the racetrack, and hopefully we can be around at the end of the year to race for the championship again. So last week was just another step in order to get to that goal.
Here to Jim Utter, if we can, please. Jim Utter, Steve, and then back to Newton.
Jim Utter, Charlotte Observer. Kevin, you mentioned the mistakes and so forth early in the season. Throw them out for a moment, and the fact that you've already won a race. Personally, do you feel you are better, or are you as good or better a race team this year than you were last year, and why?
At this particular point in the season, we are definitely better than we were last year. For a lot of reasons. I think every day that our team spends together, you learn a little something else about somebody else. We've fixed our pit crew, and they've done a great job week in and week out on pit road. So as a driver and a crew chief, you don't worry about coming to pit road and losing spots. You worry about what you're going to do to your race car. You don't even think about pit stops anymore. So there's so many things that are so much better than they were 1 year ago at this time. It'd be hard to sit here and tell them all to you in a short amount of time. So I feel a lot better, and the good thing about it is it's a lot of the same people that we keep building on.
Because of that, does that make the mistakes and so forth kind of burn you a little bit more because you know what you guys will?
No, I think when you look at it, I look at it as, obviously the engine failure was the first one we've had in hundreds of, 156 races, I think the number was, for our car. I think when you look at the sorry, I was just looking at this pole with Jeff Gluck straight behind it. It's like, did you draw that spot? Or was that on purpose? But I think when you look at the mistakes, I wouldn't really call them mistakes. I just call them circumstances, and they come in and they just fix whatever's wrong, and you go back out and you dig yourself out of the hole, and nobody gets wound up, and those are things that, you know, a year and a half ago just wouldn't happen. I mean, everybody stays calm and everybody knows what they need to do, and you just fix it and you move on. So it's just the circumstances hadn't been great up until last week, but we've got some okay finishes out of them, and that's what you have to do.
Two more questions, Steve, and finish with David.
Steve Richards with PRN. You said last night, was that the go-kart race at your house? Because Stewart was bragging on the fact that he won last year. What happened last night?
Well, it was rainy. We had too many go-karts on the track, and it turned into all but a destruction derby. So, but it was fun. I mean, a little wet, so everybody was going slow, so you couldn't really hurt anybody. Just a few minor bruises here and there.
Who won?
Rick Crowley's son. Yeah.
Finish up right here, if we can, with David, and then we'll let Kevin go.
Yeah, Kevin, I wanted to follow up on the thing about the Saturday qualifying. If you weren't in the truck race and just had to show up here for 2 laps on a Saturday, would you feel the same about it? Would you feel like it was almost a wasted day? And another question, talking about losing your mind, what do you think of the Jeff Gordon, Jeff Burton incident at Texas last year, since we're going there soon?
You know, the qualifying thing, I don't really have a good answer for you on that, other than if that's what we need to do to make the Saturday ticket better, that's what we need to do. And I think when you cut back the amount of tires, you know, we cut back a set of tires at a lot of these places to try to help the team save money. So there's a lot of things that go into that decision that are made. So the Texas part, you know, I think it's great because those guys, they always kind of laugh. I know Burton always kind of laughed at me. And even Gordon, he'd always kind of give you the shot in the ribs, you know, saying, "Oh man, that was pretty fun to watch yesterday." And to see those guys have to answer those questions, you know, at driver intros and things like that is fun, and because they don't really know what to say other than, you know, it happens sometimes, and so that part makes me laugh still to this day when I think back about the moment, just with those two guys, especially Burton. So that's fun.
Kevin, thanks a lot, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you.